Welcome back to High Stakes, where we help you elevate your betting strategy. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button to stay updated with our daily content. Looking for exclusive access to premium betting picks? Join us on Patreon. Links are available in the comments section below. Stay ahead of the game with High Stakes. Bowl season, where the magic happens and the stakes couldn't be higher. This Friday, get ready for the thrilling showdown in the DirecTV Holiday Bowl, featuring the ever-so-exciting number 21 Syracuse Orange, 9-3, taking on the mighty Washington State Cougars, 8-4. Who could possibly contain their excitement? I'll graciously walk you through each team's incredible season, introduce you to their star players, who may or may not actually show up, and cap it off with my oh-so-insightful Syracuse versus Washington State picks and predictions. Mark your calendars. Kickoff is at 8 o'clock Eastern Time from Snapdragon Stadium in the glamorous land of San Diego, California. Don't miss it. What a glorious season it's been for Coach Fran Brown and the Syracuse Orange. A stellar 9-3 record and a breathtaking 5-3 ACC finish that landed them in fourth place. Truly a monumental achievement. They wrapped up the season with a thrilling 3-0 streak, featuring victories over California, 33-25, UConn, 31-24, and the mighty number 6 Miami, 42-38. Just remember, their last bowl appearance was equally unforgettable, with a 45-0 thrashing in the Boca Raton Bowl. Who could forget? Well, let's talk personnel, because Syracuse is stacked, right? Well, quarterback Kyle McCord will be the star of the show, throwing for 4,326 yards and 29 touchdowns. He's had a few interceptions, but who's counting? LaQuinn Allen, channeling his inner Heisman candidate, has rushed for 901 yards and 14 touchdowns because why not? As for Jackson Meeks, he's the team's top receiver, which is fantastic because who doesn't love a good underdog story? Defensively, Syracuse is, well, they're not really a defense you'd want to rely on. They've allowed 30 points per game and 384.2 yards. So basically, opposing teams can score at will. But hey, what's a bowl game without a little chaos, right? Now let's shift over to Washington State, who really had a fantastic season. Well, at least it was great until the last 3 games, where they promptly lost to New Mexico, Oregon State, and Wyoming. Classic. To make matters even more exciting, Washington State has been gutted by the transfer portal and coaching changes. Coach Jake Dickert took his talents to Wake Forest, and pretty much every key offensive and defensive player has either left or decided not to show up. But wait, there's more. Xavier Eckhouse, a quarterback who's thrown all of 61 yards this season on 6 completions, will now take the helm. It's like watching a car crash, but, with a quarterback involved. Meanwhile, the Cougars' defense, already a shambles at 78th in the country, will be missing 6 starters. No big deal though, right? Syracuse, on the other hand, has been consistent for the most part, riding the momentum of their amazing win over number 6 Miami. With their offense lighting up the scoreboard and Washington State's defense already giving up points like they're going out of style, this game could be a total blowout. I wouldn't be shocked if Syracuse wins by more than 16 points. In fact, they might just score enough to make the Cougars cry in the process. As for the total, I'm personally betting the under, because as much as Syracuse can score, I'm not exactly expecting Washington State's decimated offense to do much. The Cougars are in full rebuild mode, and Syracuse's defense, while not exactly great, should be able to stop whatever feeble attempt Washington State puts together. Final prediction: Syracuse Orange minus 16 points, under 59.5 points. Because who needs defense when you have a 100% chance of total chaos? You want more? Perfect, because this game is a goldmine of what could possibly go wrong. Here's an expanded list of game props that are sure to keep you on the edge of your seat, or at least make you laugh at the absurdity. Syracuse to win by 16 to 20 points. Prediction: Syracuse winning by 16 to 20 points is almost too obvious. Washington State has been gutted like a fish after the transfer portal, and their defense is practically a welcome sign for Syracuse's offense. They've got a quarterback who actually knows what a football is, and a wide receiver who might as well be an honorary Heisman candidate. This game could be over by halftime, but who needs logic when you can be conservative and guess Syracuse wins by just 16 to 20 points? It's just the right amount of, oh yeah, that was a blowout, but let's not get carried away. Over 3.5 total interceptions in the game. Prediction: oh, the interceptions. We've got Xavier Eckhouse making his debut as Washington State's starting quarterback after a stellar 61-yard season. Couple that with Syracuse's totally competent defense that lets 30 points slip by per game, and you've got yourself a turnover fiesta. There's no way this one doesn't see at least 3 or 4 interceptions. Heck, Syracuse's QB might toss a couple to make it a real free-for-all. The real question isn't whether there will be interceptions, It's how many awkward sideline glares we'll see after each one. LaQuinn Allen to score 2 or more touchdowns. Prediction. LaQuinn Allen, the Heisman candidate with 901 rushing yards and 14 touchdowns who somehow hasn't been invited to a single Heisman ceremony yet. No problem though, because in a game where Washington State's defense is decimated and more holes than Swiss cheese, Allen will easily run in 2 touchdowns before you can blink. Or maybe 3. Who needs to stop a guy running through a team that can't even stop themselves at this point? Total passing yards for Xavier Eckhouse, over 150 yards. Prediction. Xavier Eckhouse, the quarterback who's thrown for 61 yards all season. Not even a full game's worth. But against Syracuse's defense, who apparently let opposing teams score with 0 resistance, there's no way he doesn't hit 150 passing yards. I mean, at this point, he might even throw for 200 yards if Syracuse lets him get some quick passes off. Seriously, with all the pieces Washington State is missing, Eckhouse will probably manage to surpass expectations just by showing up at this point. Syracuse to score 30-plus points in the first half. Prediction. Syracuse's offense has been on fire this year, lighting up defenses like it's their job because it is. Washington State's defense isn't even really a defense at the moment. Missing 6 starters and averaging 27.9 points allowed per game, they might just need to start bringing out traffic cones to line up against Syracuse. So, yeah, I'd say Syracuse is going to score at least 30 points by the half. Maybe they'll even put up 35 just for good measure. Because why not make this feel like an all-star game? Total combined sacks under 2.5. Prediction. We're going under on this one for sure. Syracuse is ranked near the bottom in sacks this season, and Washington State's offensive line will be missing key pieces, meaning nobody will be touching the quarterbacks. Just imagine it. Quarterbacks standing in a clean pocket, leisurely checking their phones, before deciding to throw some long balls. It's not even that they're not trying. It's more like they just forgot how to sack anyone. We'll call this one a non-sack fest. Bet the under. Total field goals made over 1.5. Prediction. The chances of either team going for field goals are probably higher than you think. You see, with both defenses being rather generous, one might say too generous, there's a good chance that after every touchdown Syracuse scores, Washington State will stumble its way into some kind of field goal attempt. Maybe even 2. It's really anyone's guess. But with both teams desperate for anything resembling points after their defenses collapse in slow motion, expect at least 2 field goals. 1 from each team? Why not? Syracuse's total rushing yards over 150 yards. Prediction. Syracuse may be known for their air attack, because who wouldn't be when you've got a QB like McCord? But they'll take a few victory laps on the ground against Washington State's lackluster defense. With LaQuinn Allen leading the charge, and a defensive line that's too busy texting to actually defend, Syracuse should rack up yards with ease. I mean, how could they not? It's literally a track meet at this point, and Washington State's defense is just the unwilling participant. Total combined penalties over 12.5. Prediction. Oh, it's going to be a flag fest. You can feel it in the air. With Washington State still figuring out who's actually playing, and Syracuse likely playing the we don't need to play defense game, there's bound to be a laundry list of penalties. Miscommunication, blown coverages, bad calls, and probably some frustrated coaches yelling at clouds. There will be flags galore in this one. Penalty yards? Sure. The game might turn into a contest of which team can accumulate more penalty yards. Xavier Eckhouse total passing touchdowns under 1.5. Prediction. Yes, Xavier Eckhouse, the quarterback with all of 61 yards under his belt. Sure, he could totally throw for multiple touchdowns in his first start, but realistically, not happening. Syracuse's defense, even though they're not stellar, should be able to hold up against an inexperienced QB and a decimated offense. Under 1.5 passing touchdowns for Eckhouse feels like the safer bet here, unless he somehow pulls off a miracle that even Hollywood couldn't script. And that's a wrap on today's video, folks. I'm sure you're absolutely on the edge of your seat, eagerly awaiting the next thrilling installment of this channel. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, because clearly you don't want to miss any of our daily videos. I mean, who could live without them? And while you're at it, smash that notification bell, so you can be the first to know when we drop more gems like this. Oh, and if you're looking for some premium picks, because, let's be honest, who isn't? Join our Patreon. It's where the real magic happens. Premium picks, insider info, and possibly even some mildly entertaining banter. So, hit that link, and we'll see you on the inside. Until next time, enjoy the game, make those bets, and remember, you're welcome.